if you spend like more than 2-3 years, it's like a magnet. You don't want to leave that place. And that happened to us. That no, like it's so good here. Why do we leave? And then at that time after COVID, we started seeing all the friends around. They started taking the houses. They started buying properties of their own. They started moving into the independent houses.
Yeah.
So and we were stuck. We couldn't buy a house. We couldn't go back to India. We were like sitting on the fence.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Desi Return. Today, I'm excited to have Manvi on our show. Manvi spent 6 years in US before returning back to India. There is a uniqueness in her story about how her kid got adjusted with the move. Pretty much he was grown up in US majority of his life or most of his life. So a lot of insights and a lot of information, and looking forward to the show. With that, welcome Manvi to the show.
Thank you so much. Pleasure all mine, Avinash.
Great. So Manvi, if you can tell us a little bit about your background, what made you to move to US, and is there any triggering point before you decide to move back to India?
Okay. So I'll start from the very beginning. Me and my husband, we were based in Mumbai. We both were like any other working couple in Mumbai, hustling with the city, the locals, and spending our hours in travel to offices. Then I got pregnant. I had my older one. And after my maternity leave of 6 months, I resumed my work. So that time, my husband was looking for an on-site opportunity. And I started working, every day I used to go to office, and morning 7 I used to leave, and I used to come back by evening 7. So it was like 12 hours my kid used to be with the nanny. So that mom guilt, which every mom has, same struck me. I like, oh my God, like what am I doing? What am I doing? Every day I used to go there and I used to just look at the monitor of my mobile, like what is my kid doing? What is my son doing? So it's like, because I am a person who never wanted to give up career.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna move anywhere. I'm not leaving my job. But that mom guilt was so big that my husband, when my son was almost 8 months, like two months I had joined the job, he got an offer for this on-site opportunity in US. And I was the one, oh my God, just grab it. And he's like, what's wrong with you? You never wanted to leave your job. What's wrong with you? You were always against it.
Yeah.
I like, no, I just want to be with my son. I want to see him grow. And we will come back. I'll join my job again because I had good connections with my company. I told these guys, we are moving there just for a few years and I'll be back. I don't mind you guys take me at the same position, but I just want to be back. So these guys were like, okay, we don't want to leave a resource like you. You come back, just still do not worry about anything. Go ahead, enjoy your son's initial years, early years, and come back to us.
Yeah.
So I was very comfortable. Yeah, I resigned my job. And when my son was eight months old, we moved to US. Cool. Of course, thinking that we'll be back in a few years and again back to the crazy Mumbai life and office, both of them juggling. That was initially how we went there to US.
Got it. So which place did you go to, and how was the life in US, raising the kid, with the vision that you had to spend more time with him? So maybe if you can talk a little bit about that. And also, I know you always have the plan to be back to India after a few years. So is there a certain trigger point on when you want to move back? If you can share a little bit about that also, that would be great.
Yeah, of course. Now, like moving forward from where I left, we moved to US. Then my son was 8 months old. Pretty much, I was there for him. It was very comfortable because what I wanted to be with him, and I got the space there. I was home. I was at home, and I was looking after him. It felt really good for 2-3 months, but after 2-3 months, I realized, oh my God, what am I doing? Like I'm just taking care of the kid, nothing else. So that struck me. I know that's not a very good thing to say because most of the moms do that, and that's a wonderful thing to do. But for me, like it's a very personal opinion. I feel that if I've got the capacity, if I can be productive or financially contributing to the household finances, why not? So for next, like I used to take care of the son. I used to be good, like everything. But that extra energy that was not channelizing. So I had that initial years in the US, like 1 or 2 years, I was a little lonely. And I feel anybody who's shifting there would feel that, because the kind of lifestyle we live in India is very different from what we live in US. Summers were good because we shifted in summertime. It was good for first 3-4 months, but at the onset of winters, we were in New Jersey, so it has like real harsh winters, and we are literally house arrested. So I still remember my first winters in US. Oh my God, it was terrible. I was like, my husband used to come from Moscow. I like, I'm suffocating. I want to go out. I want to go out. And literally, I used to like wear my jacket and like bundle up, and I used to go out irrespective of what weather. Like I remember even like walking at minus 20 degrees Celsius outside. Yeah, so it was like so the first few months were quite lonely, as I told you, and in winters, I used to feel that need to get some fresh air always. So, and of course, the thought of not doing anything apart from the household work or taking off the baby was always there. But still, slowly and gradually, but somehow I started enjoying my life there. Like from the next summers, you can say, next summer we started going out, we started going on road trips, and we really enjoyed. And it was like, and first 2 years we actually visited India 2 times, because it was my sister's wedding and my sister-in-law's wedding, like 6 months apart. So we were very frequent to India. So still the first years went by, and then after that, as my son grew, he became 2 years, 3 years. We noticed that my son had a speech delay. Like since till 3 years also, he was not speaking.
Okay.
So we were very worried. And now, since my energy was not channelizing, my thoughts were all diverted to him. Why is my kid not speaking? So all my energy, everything went into it, and we got him into early intervention. He got therapies and everything. And by the age of 3.5 or almost 4, he started speaking. So we were like relieved, at least everything is okay. We even evaluated for if he's on the spectrum, but thankfully everything was fine. He was good. It's just that he blossomed very late.
Yeah.
So a lot of people back in India, they told us, oh, because you're in US, because there's nobody to interact, because there's no family, that's why your kid had a delayed speech. But I somehow didn't believe those things, because of course you have people around, that's a catalyst to make your kid speak. But that cannot be the only reason that your son is speech delayed. There has to be some other biological reason too.
Yeah.
So so all my since then we got him enrolled into preschool, and slowly and gradually I started interacting with mothers of preschool, teachers of preschool, and even his therapists were there. I used to interact with them a lot. And then when he was 3 years, COVID struck all around the world.
Yeah.
So everybody was house arrested and all that, and we were really worried about our parents back here, because they were all alone. My parents, like, they have my brother living with them, so I was a little relieved on that front. But my husband is the only son, and a sister. So since that time, everybody was all aloof, and his parents are old, and they were there, and we were really worried for them. Like, we used to call them literally 3 to 4 times a day to just ask them, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? Even a little sneeze, if they sneeze, we're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
So actually, that was the time when we realized that how much ever we enjoying our lives there, but somehow everybody, I think every Indian who's living abroad, they have this thought at the back of the mind: what if something happens to our parents there? What if something wrong happens, right? That thought is always lingering somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
So how much ever we enjoy, and frankly speaking, after a year or so, I started enjoying my life in US. And I literally started loving it, the kind of independence it gave me, the kind of infrastructure, the beauty and everything. I started loving it. And even my son's school teachers, therapists, they were so good, so generous, so kind. So I like, oh my God, do we find such setup in India? So somehow I started comparing, and somehow like, no, this is a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
So, but still that thought was there of parents that they're growing old, we have to be back. So then what happens in US, if you spend like more than 2-3 years, it's like a magnet. You don't want to leave that place. And that happened to us. That no, like, it's so good here, why do we leave? And then at that time, after COVID, we started seeing all the friends around, they started taking the houses. They started buying properties of their own. They started moving into the independent houses.
Yeah.
So and we were stuck. We couldn't buy a house. We couldn't go back to India. We were like sitting on the fence. What do we? And literally 2 years we spent sitting on the fence. that do we have to go or do we have to stay? But I don't know, somehow that thought was so triggering that our parents are alone there. What do we do if something happened? That was so triggering and so pulling us here. So we're like, no, we have to take a call. And then I think 2022, my younger one, I got pregnant after COVID, like in 2021, and my younger was born in 2022. So we had made up our mind after COVID in 2021 that we would move back to India. That's it. So we were mentally made up that after COVID, once it passes, we are gonna be there for our parents. But then I conceived, and in 2022, July 4th, my younger one was born. That's like American Independence Day. So everybody, wow, he's supposed to be here. Then our friends were like, no, you guys are supposed to be here. Since your younger one is born on the Independence Day of America, you guys are supposed to be here. So we are like, whatever, now he's born. Now our next target is to like find a job in India and get settled and get things moving.
Yeah.
So and you know what, this practical challenge in moving back to India, most of the people face, because since I have an Insta page and a lot of people send me their queries about how do we how did you manage your finances? That's a very big question, and that's like you can say literally that is the reason why people avoid shifting here, because they feel that they cannot match the lifestyle there to the lifestyle in India, right? So it's like and I think it's true. Like the kind of salary you earn there, that you cannot match it in India. So somehow we were very mentally prepared with the idea that we would have to compromise somewhere on the salary part. But my husband was trying to trying to get calls for the interview and all. But 6 months, I think we tried, but still he was not getting a job. Somehow this is there that if you're in US, you're trying to find a job in India, it's very difficult to get calls. Like no HR will be calling you if you if you even shortlisted like out of 5, only one you will go through the interview part. So somehow those things are there. Those are practical hitches. Then we were like, what to do? We cannot go jobless. Then even at one point of time, we thought, okay, let's leave all this. We'll start from scratch. We'll go there jobless and we'll see what will happen. Even that thought crossed the mind. We have to go, what to do?
Yeah.
But obviously that is not a very wise thing to do. So then somehow it says that whatever you wish very ardently, like whole world and whole universe comes to make it true. That happened with us actually. That happened with us. So my husband internally, he got a shift in the company. So he took it up, and then we started, and then everything like we decided on a date that this is the time we'll be moving, and even the location we chose, like they gave us an option, since we hail from basically from northern India. So we had an option to go to North India, or we had an option to come to whichever city of our choice. So Pune was by choice; it was not by chance.
Yeah.
Like we had been in Mumbai, as I told you initially.
Yeah.
So we always liked the work culture of Maharashtra. So we since we did not want to be in the hustle bustle of a metro like Mumbai, so we thought, what better than Pune? Yeah, it's like a perfect combination of a big town and a small town. The comforts of the small town and luxuries of a big town.
Yeah.
So that's how we decided on Pune. We decided a date. We booked our tickets, and then we packed the entire life of 6 years in like 8 suitcases, and we just left the place of our dream. Oh my God, I still miss US. I know there are a lot of people who curse me for that, but I'm not shy to say that I don't miss US. I miss US in a lot of respect.
Yeah.
But having said that, I miss US, that doesn't mean I don't like India.
Yeah.
India is my birthplace. I've been here for 30 years of my life. So I love my country equally, not equally, more than being there. But there are certain things which are factual, which will remain a fact, but that's okay. All the countries are different. All like the lifestyle is different, economies are different, everything is different. And both have their own set of beauties. So I think it's all depend on personal choices and priorities, basically. So our priority towards our family, basically my husband, my in-laws, brought us back to India.
Okay.
And one more very big reason which I did not mention about my son, both the sons. Since my older one, he had so much therapies and everything, and so he started speaking very late, as I mentioned. So he somehow skipped on the Hindi part.
Okay.
He couldn't catch up on Hindi. So you won't believe, even today, it's been 8 months we're in India, he cannot speak Hindi. He's just on English, and he has a total American accent, which people are mesmerized when they hear that accent of him. But still, he's not able to catch on Hindi. We talk to him in Hindi. We would love him to learn our mother tongue, but still somehow he's lagging behind in that. But I feel that's fine. That boy has been literally so brave, and he has transitioned so smoothly. So we were really worried about his academics. We were really pressurized about his schooling, that because in India, of course, the academics are a little on the aggressive side.
Yeah.
As compared to US, right? So we always had it in mind that we are never going to put him in ICSE or CBSE, because since he had already done his pre-K through grade 1 in US. So we thought it would be difficult for him to cope up suddenly in a CBSE or ICSE structure. So we chose international school, board for him. To be very specific, we chose Cambridge board for him. And touchwood, by God's grace, it's working really well for him.
Cool. I know there's a lot of information. Just to quickly summarize some of the things there. It was the parents, the in-laws, I think, that brought you back, the primary reason. And I think that one of the things that you mentioned about, career transition or the planning, practical limitations in terms of someone applying from US, the employers in India are not considering them very seriously. The one thing that I have heard from multiple people, having an Indian phone number could help. But definitely once you move back to India, there is a lot of demand for the people who have experience in US or abroad,
There are
right?
opportunities suddenly they
Yes.
crop up. That's what we heard, and that's what I told you. There was a point we thought we'll go jobless to India. That was the reason, because many people told us the moment you land in India, you'll get a lot of opportunities. So we
Yeah,
were like,
because
okay, let's try that out.
yeah. And then I think people take a little bit more serious, right? Because otherwise people might be just shopping around or how serious they are. And then I think in terms of some of the logistics that you mentioned about, like packing 6 years of the stuff in eight suitcases, and moving back, and having the kids settling in the school, right? I think there are a lot of things. So just to wrap up, or maybe underscore some of these things. I know you have a younger one. How difficult was it to plan all this logistics of the move, selling things, getting everything ready and moving? Any advice or anything that you wanted to provide to the audience in terms of that practical move, in terms of the logistics of the move?
Okay. Now, since back we were shifting there, shifting from there, that time, a lot of people told us, why don't you take electronics from here? Obviously we upgraded our iPhones, but still they were like, take a TV, take some electronics, like all those things. So we were like, no, because since we did not have a house here of our own, so we thought it is pointless to take all these stuff, because we do not have a space to keep them. Why do we take them? So we did not consider doing that. But now, coming so far, 8 months in India, I feel it could be a wise decision, to get electronics. Like, supposing, just for example, in US we had a 75 inches big TV, and which costed us peanuts in Black Friday sale, like literally $200-300. Now in India, like, since we're building a house, the interiors are going on. We are very soon shifting there. We just very recently we went for electronic shopping, and the same kind of TV, like, not 75, 65 inches TV will cost you around 1.5 lakhs in India. So it's like the cost is too much, cost is humongous. So even after your custom duty, even after your clearances and all the cost, shipping cost, everything, your TV would be really, really like very cheap, and then a bigger one you can get from US. Yeah, so that is one thing. And we did not go for anything. A lot of people get this stuff from cargo, from ships. That is the most economical way of getting stuff. Like, a lot of people get furniture. And I feel it's a beautiful thought to get furniture and toys of kids, because the quality of toys differs a lot in India and US. The kind of toys you get in US are nowhere to be found in India. Like, one of our friends that shifted from US, they literally got like cardboard slides and the things we cannot imagine that they get in India. I like, oh, you got all this stuff from America? They said yes. I said, yeah, you guys are very wise. We were not that wise. We just got all our clothes and everything. So that is the thing. Plus, yeah, I would advise people to get a lot of branded stuff from US. Like, grab some Michael Kors bags, Coach bags, because here they are super expensive. That day, I wanted to give my sister-in-law a Coach bag. but it was super expensive. I couldn't do. And that same bag I remember I saw in US. It was like in sale. I was getting for $100, $120.
Yeah.
So it's like these things, small things are there, which I've learned from experience. That yes, if you have the bandwidth, time, and energy to plan all this, definitely do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I know you mentioned about like maybe switching gears a little bit about your son. Joining the school. How has it been going? How has this social life been in India? Like mingling with other kids and so on as well, and the school. So if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very important point for us, because that was a point which made me really nervous. And I also remember crying a lot of times in US, just thinking my son. I was like, okay, we are born and brought up there. For us, it's no adjustment. But what about my 7-year-old son, who for him, this is his home? And the point at the airport, he told me, Mama, I want to go back home. I bursted into tears. I like, bit of which home? He like, the home in US, mama, the home in US, mama. I want to go back there. I want to go to my home. So I was crying and telling him, beta, now we will have a new home. Now we'll have a new. I'm literally, I was like crying, like so much on the airport. I don't know, somehow something made me cry, because for that little boy, that was his house, and he had to leave his house and come here, and he had no clue what new house mama is talking about. So for his point of view, I can literally like say it was very difficult. And when he came here, he was he loved everything there, because somehow I feel my 7-year-old adjusted very soon. He got him at the right age when he did not have that much of knowledge of worldly things.
Yeah.
Because of course, when you see cleanliness around, infrastructure around, people around, obviously it's more hygienic and clean there. So we got him at the right time. He adjusted very well, literally well. Like, I was really happy. The only fact that made me happy and satisfied is that he was happy. Okay, now one thing I remember very distinctly, like the second day, when he was here, he started crying. I said, what happened? And a mosquito bit him. So and there was a big red thing here. And he's like, Mama, I don't know, there some bug bit me here. Like, why there's so much bugs in India? I want to go back to USA. There are no bugs in USA. So that was the only thing which bugged him, I think. Otherwise, now if you ask him, he says, I don't want to go back to US. He says, Mama, I want to be here. I love, and India he loves. Per se, he loves the city Pune. He says, I don't want to go to Pune. Even like we went to my mother's place like last month. He's like, when are we going back to Pune? I think I like Pune more. Let's go back to Pune. So it's like he adjusted well. And as far as school is concerned, that was number one point which we were worried about. But since he's in a Cambridge board, the teachers are very considerate. The procedures are very, it is not as per other schools, very academically oriented. It has a lot of extracurricular activities. And the best part is I was looking forward to is like a balance of academics and extracurriculars. That's there in his school. Because we also inquired about IB board, but I feel IB board for a US return person in India, I don't know, a person who wants to go back to US, it's perfect. You can put your son in IB board, and after certain point in time, he can go back to US and settle there, right? But a person like us, who we feel that we have to be in India now, IB board might not be the best option to go, because after 12th, what? Your son has to face competition in India, right? Like, if you plan, so it's like somehow they have to be groomed in academics as well. So IB board is more activity oriented, right? So that's why we chose Cambridge board. It's a balance between the two. It's it has the curriculum, some curriculum of CBSE, ICSE, and it has extracurricular of IB.
Yeah.
So it's like both ways. So that's why we chose this Cambridge board. A lot of people ask me this question, like, how did you choose the board? So CBSE, ICSE were really out of question because of the academic focus. And IB board, we were thinking, but later we thought our son has to be in India, so it would be problem for him later. So let's not go for that. So we chose a middle path. So that's Cambridge board is the middle path for us. And I'm really happy because he's happy. He loves the teachers. He loves the school. And he adjusted very well. That's the thing. If even one day he would have come and he would have like, I don't like my school, I would have been literally, oh my God, did we do the wrong thing coming back? So, but that touch wood, that did not happen.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about it.
So that's good. So just to maybe touch the point, one thing you mentioned about the Cambridge, right? So with that curriculum, so do people go to like regular like engineering or like MBBS or maybe any other colleges in India, right? Like would they be prepared for some of these entrance exams in that curriculum? Like just curious on that. Just maybe, maybe that could
Yeah,
also help us.
actually, yeah. Actually, that question, it's a very valid one. I also like asked this question like from the principal of the school. So they're like kids are equally equipped to go in for competitive exams like IAS or IIT or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but since like my prerogative is never to send my son into such kind of competition, because somehow living in US for 6 years has changed my mindset totally. I just do not believe in the rat race. I do not want my son to go for IIT or IAS or anything, because whatever he wants to do, he's free. But the principal definitely replied to me that kids are well equipped because they go in for a they also have a 12th board which is affiliated to UK, to Cambridge. So they have like academically and extracurricular wise, they are this thing equipped to handle other competitive exams in India.
Got it.
Practicality, I do not know, and even I am not very keen to know, because my son is pretty young. Let's see what will happen as we go by. I just wanted his transition to be smooth as of now.
Yeah.
So that's what has happened. So I'm very happy about it. Later on, I'll think about it. If my son wants to do IIT, no worries. We'll put him extra coaching, right?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what he wants to do. Yeah.
Just curious, I think, because anyway, like I think when you're explaining about this different curriculums, just curious, I think if there was any thought process or any recommendation or suggestions that you can.
No, but Cambridge board is a good board for a US citizen person to go with, because the other day there was one of the followers like, why do you want to put your son in international board when your son wants to be, now you guys are in India? That is a very valid question. I answered to her very politely that this is the reason, because the transition phase. I want my kid's transition to be very smooth, because he's already given up on so many things. He's already his life is turning upside down. So at least academics is something I can lower his pressure on.
Yeah.
So that's what our mindset was, to put him in international school. So let's see where he figures out his way. I'm sure he'll figure out his way, like in international or wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So maybe if you can touch a little bit on the career transition. I think you mentioned about your husband, taking an internal transfer. Did you like resume back to work, or or just taking some time off, or just curious and yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, I did not resume my work because I'm an entrepreneur now. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now since I was an S4, I couldn't work in US. So I had done a lot of prep, sort of research, because I already have that thing that I had to do something on my own. And since I always had that, even when I was in my job, I don't know, I have to do something on my own. But since I did not have the time with the job to think about it, and then initial years with the son, I couldn't think. Then later, like you can say 2020, I started a Facebook page with it was regarding kids activities, like fine motor activities, gross motor activities, cognitive skills, and all these skills. So the page grew really fast. Like within 6 months, it went up to 30K. And now it's a group of around 200K followers.
Wow, congrats.
So thank you so much. So I couldn't do anything more than that there, but that is what I did. And now I've already started a business related to that. My followers on Facebook. So yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur. More than that, I might not be in a position to disclose, but yes, I'm an entrepreneur now, and I'm really happy. I do not have to, because I'm really happy, because being in India, because a very bothering thing in India is traveling, the traffic.
Yeah.
Like people think we have to come back to India, we have to again deal with that heavy traffic and long traveling hours. So that bothered us too. But believe me, I had my plans ready. No, I have all my things set. So I will be at home. My this thing was prerogative was I have to be at home with the kids, but doing something.
Yeah.
I cannot be just with the kids, or I just cannot be doing something. I have to manage everything. So since that was settled, So we were very comfortable moving back here. And by God's grace, everything like going smoothly. My husband works remotely, so he's at home. I have my own business, so I work from home. And my kid's school is like 5 minutes distance. So school bus comes down. So touch wood, it's a wonderful scenario for us. So I don't know how many can manage this scenario in India. If you maintain this kind of, if you create this kind of lifestyle in India, believe me, it is 100 times better than being in US.
Yeah.
And with yes, and being with a full-time maid. I've got a full-time house help.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, some of those things with the pros and cons, and how do you manage some of the cons to make the life better, right? Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Like if you can build this kind of life in India, no better city is there. Like the convenience at the doorsteps. You order Zomato, you order anything from pin to plane, you get at your doorstep.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So how has the social life been, and how has you and your husband, like, family adjusting since the move? Anything that you miss in US? How is the life here? Just curious on that.
Yeah, I would say my social life in India as of now, I have zero social life in India, except my social media. That's the only life as of now we have, because since this time we've come back, there's so much going on. Like initial transition, then we had to find a rental place, then shifting in a rental place, then immediately I always had one thing in mind: the moment we go to India, we have to get a house of our own. We have to we have to get settled. That thought of getting settled, which was not there in USA.
Mm-hmm.
That was also one more reason, I would say, a very big reason, because we were there always in doubt. And I think 99% of Indians are in that situation who are on H1, because they always, the uncertainty is always there. So we didn't want to live in a life of uncertainty. We wanted to settle down. So the thought behind coming to India was to get settled. And how does a person get settled? You get your own house, you deck it up in your own way, you get a car, and everything is settled. That's a way settled, right? So the moment we shifted in the rental house, I started hunting for a house. And luckily, and I was waiting for my son to get settled in the school.
Yeah.
And I think within a month or so, I got to know that this guy is doing great and everything is fine. Let's start hunting for houses. So near the school, we started searching for houses, and luckily the apartments we were living on rent, one of the apartments we bought it.
Nice.
So now the interior work is going on, and now we plan to do a puja on 21st, and we plan to shift in the house. So the feeling is so satisfying, Avinash. It's really satisfying having your own house, decking it up your own way. Every single thing we've customized as per us. So we have been so busy that there have been no social life. But believe me, the people here, the place we live in, it's a very cosmo place. We love the place we live here. It's a very cosmo place, very welcoming and warm. And one more thing, very big reason, my kid feels comfortable here because there are a lot of English speaking kids here.
Yeah.
No offense to vernacular speaking kids, no offense to Hindi speaking kids, but that's what my kid needs. That there should be kids who can understand him and he can understand other kids, right? So that's what is happening. I know a lot of people know me, and I'm also part of the cultural committee in the society.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't believe this year, because my son loves Halloween. And I was like thinking, like what this year? What if there's no Halloween? So I approached the cultural committee guys that why don't we celebrate Halloween here? We celebrate everything. We should celebrate Halloween. So these guys were so generous and kind. They're like, oh, why not? You want to do it? Let's do it. So literally, I took the lead, and we did a really great Halloween event here with 250 trick-or-treaters in the campus. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Even in US, I have not seen such a big trick-or-treaters gang. So it was like we arranged a trick-or-treat for them. And I was like, initially I was like, who would know trick-or-treat here? Like nobody would know it. My God, the kids were crazy. They're like, trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat. I like, oh God, like these kids have never been to US, but still they know everything. And then I asked one of the moms that, how do they know? Moms were not aware of trick-or-treat, a lot of moms. But one of the moms told me, because nowadays they see so much of the exposure of the TVs is so much, they see the common things and they know what is trick or treat, how to dress up, what character they want to be, they know everything.
Yeah.
So it was very shocking, but very pleasant in a way that, yes, it's like I was able to create a atmosphere like we were there and everybody enjoyed. The motive was to make the kids enjoy.
Yeah.
So everybody enjoyed and we had a wonderful Halloween celebration. And plus a very big thing, I think a very plus thing, here in the these towers, they do all the festivals in a very grand way. So we have been enjoying Ganpati, we enjoyed Garba, then New Year's, then
Yeah.
Christmas. So a lot of festivities are there. So we are engaged in those festivities. But as per se, you say personally, if I've made friends, no, I've not been able to make friends personally, because one more, I think that's one more thing which people don't speak up very often, but it's a fact that making friends at this phase of life, it becomes a little difficult, because you've moved from US. Everybody have their own groups, everybody have their own friends. They'll say hello, hi to you, they'll be like good to you, but it's very difficult to make a group. So I really do not know, okay, when would I be having a girls gang of mine, or a group of ours. But let's see, we are happy the way we are. And of course, slowly and gradually, I'm sure
Yeah, I think so.
I'll find my own gang.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yes. No, thanks for sharing that. So, anything that we haven't touched that you want to talk about that could help people who are considering to move or thinking about moving, along the same lines of advice or anything that you wanted to share with the audience?
Yeah. Yeah. One advice for everybody: if you guys want to move when your kids are in early years. That's easy on the kids, easy on the parents, easy on everybody. Because as the kids grow up, like the moment they become like more than 10 or 12, or they're in the teens, it's a cultural shock for them.
Mhm.
And believe me, there are a lot of cultural differences in both the countries. So younger they are, they'll transition smoothly, everything will be fine. The moment they grow up, there'll be a lot of questions you would have to answer, and there would be a lot of questions which you would not have any answer to. If they ask you why there's so much of trash here, what answer you will give? Nothing. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
get your kids when they're early years. Transition for everybody is smooth. And believe me, coming back to India is no punishment. Because a lot of people think that coming back to India might lower the standard of living. No, it is all about how you create your life. Because ultimately, you are there on your own. Ultimately, you will be here on your own. But advantage being your family is nearby.
Yeah.
So you have that festivities with family, you have that common cultures, and obviously a lot of things to enjoy here.
Yeah. Sure. So thanks a lot for all your time and sharing your thoughts, sharing your journey and the insights, from your move. Really appreciate, and thanks again for your time.
Avinash, thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. I am always looking forward to somebody who listens to my this like the transition, because I love to talk about it. There's so many people who actually wants to know, who want to come back, but somehow they're stuck there because of different reasons. So I think you've come up with a wonderful initiative that helping those people out, like they can actually learn how they can create a better life in India if they have to come back at all. So I feel you have to make up your mind, like if you have to settle there, that's good, your priority. If you come back to India, that's even better. So it's like apna desh is apna desh.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing, it's a wonderful thing. Keep it up, keep going.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you so
Again, I
much.
think
it,
the
it, it
goal.
was it was my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Again, the goal is not to encourage for people to move or not to move.
Of
It's
course.
provide the facts, provide the
Yeah.
experiences people who have already done, so that that could help with the decision process. I think the goal is for the people to make a decision and not like let the time go by. And I think that's the essence of it. Once again, thank you very much. I'm sure this would be valuable for a lot of people who are in a similar boat. Thanks for sharing and thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Pleasure all mine, Avinash. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining us on this insightful journey of Desi Return. If you enjoyed this episode and want to explore more stories and expert advice, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts and experiences. By the way, check out the links in the description below for our Facebook group and social media for updates and engaging discussions, as well as connecting with fellow Desi Returners. Thank you once again, and until next time, may your Desi Return journey be filled with joy, growth, and endless possibilities.